Picture the scene. It's June 12, 2026, a rare sunny afternoon in central London. The location is an elegant but understated conference room at the Queen Elizabeth II Centre, just a stone's throw from Westminster Abbey. The event is a women's leadership symposium. It's meant to be uplifting, safe, the kind of event the royal family does 100 times a year. Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh, is the star guest. And if you don't know much about her, you need to understand this. Sophie isn't flashy. She doesn't command the front pages like others do. But inside the palace walls, she has always been called the firm's secret weapon. Steady, loyal, trusted. She was the late Queen's confidant, her real rock in the final years. So when Sophie steps up to chat with a charity executive after her speech, no one is expecting fireworks. The press pool is already packing up their equipment. Cameras are being lowered. Coffee cups are being refilled. But one journalist, a veteran radio producer named Alan, forgot to switch off his professional recorder. It sat there, still running, still capturing audio on a nearby table. Sophie didn't see it. No one did. She leaned close to the executive and let her guard down for just a fleeting second. The room was noisy, but the microphone caught it all with chilling clarity. Her voice was low. It wasn't angry. It was heavy, exhausted. A voice carrying years of private pain finally cracking open. She said she would have ended up being the death of the Queen. The stress, it was unbearable to witness. Let those words sink in. Not she was difficult. Not we had disagreements. She said Meghan Markle's actions brought such unbearable stress that it nearly killed a monarch. A beloved, 96-year-old woman. The sentence was a bomb. Alan, the journalist, didn't realize what he had at first. But when he played back his tape later that afternoon, his hands started shaking. Within minutes, his editor was called. Within an hour, the grainy audio file was uploaded to the news site's homepage. The headline simply read, "Exclusive, Sophie's secret MIC drop." The speed of the fallout was terrifying. By sunset in California, which is 8 hours behind London, the audio was the #1 trending topic on every platform. In Montecito, inside their sprawling 9-bedroom mansion, Meghan's team was caught completely off guard. A source very close to the Sussexes, someone who was in the room, told me exclusively that the scene wasn't anger. It was sheer, frozen panic. The phone didn't stop buzzing. Meghan just stared at the screen, replaying the clip over and over. The words cutting deeper each time. They had no statement ready. No strategy. Nothing. The implication was devastating. This wasn't a tabloid rumor printed on cheap paper. This was a first-hand, eyewitness account from a senior royal, whispered into a hot MIC, straight from inside the gilded trap they had escaped. And the worst part, Meghan knew, in that terrifyingly quiet moment, that the world was about to believe every single word. Let's talk about those 9 seconds. 9 seconds that rewrote royal history. The audio clip is short. You can hear the clinking of teacups in the background. A soft laugh from someone across the room. And then Sophie's voice cuts through it all. I want you to really listen to how she said it. She didn't whisper like she was gossiping. She didn't sound bitter or jealous. Her tone was the most damaging part of the entire leak. It was heavy with grief. A deep, resigned sadness, like someone finally speaking a truth they had been swallowing for years. A body language expert I spoke with, Dr. Elaine Harris, analyzed just the audio for us. She noted something crucial. Sophie's breathing pattern changed right before she spoke. She took a deep breath. That's a sign of someone preparing to say something painful but true. This wasn't a performance. This wasn't a calculated takedown. It was a private moment of mourning that accidentally went public. The immediate fallout inside Buckingham Palace was chaos. I'm talking code red, all hands on deck panic. Within 27 minutes of the upload, every single press officer's phone was ringing simultaneously. Emails flooded in from every major news outlet on Earth. BBC, CNN, Sky News, the New York Times, all demanding the same thing. A comment, a denial, anything. And what did the palace give them? Silence. Complete, deafening silence. An insider who works in the palace communications office, someone I've known for years, sent me a 2-line encrypted message at 4:17 p.m. London time. It read, "No one knows what to do." She said it. We can't unsay it. The king is being briefed now. That message told me everything. There was no spin because there was no defense. Sophie spoke her truth, and the truth is bulletproof. Meanwhile, the audio spread faster than anyone could control. TikTok creators jumped on it immediately. One video, comparing Sophie's quiet dignity to Meghan's past interviews, hit 8 million views in 3 hours. Reaction channels on YouTube were live streaming their shock. The hashtag #SophieSpeaksTruth started trending worldwide by 7 p.m. London time. But here's where the story takes a dark turn for Meghan. Something unexpected happened. The public didn't turn on Sophie. They rallied around her. Comments sections everywhere filled with messages like she's protecting her mother-in-law's memory, and finally, someone said it. The narrative wasn't about royal bullying anymore. It shifted violently. It became about a family protecting their own from someone they saw as a destroyer. In Los Angeles, a high-level crisis PR expert named Marcus Webb was called in by Meghan's team for an emergency Zoom consultation. I've obtained notes from that meeting. His conclusion was brutal. He told them, and I quote, "You cannot sue. You cannot deny. She believes what she said. The public believes her. If you attack Sophie, you attack a grieving daughter-in-law. You will lose." For the first time in her entire public life, Meghan Markle had no counterpunch. No legal threat. No Oprah sit-down that could fix this. The soundbite was the verdict, and the world was the jury. June 13, 5:47 a.m. The sun is just beginning to rise over the Santa Ynez Mountains, casting a soft golden light over Meghan's Montecito estate. But inside that mansion, there is no peace. The digital war is already over, and Meghan has lost. Let me paint the picture of what happened while she was sleeping. The audio clip of Sophie had been online for only 8 hours. 8 hours. That's less than a full night's rest. Yet in that tiny window, the entire internet had made up its mind. 2 phrases were trending worldwide at the same time. Sophie speaks truth and cancel Meghan. Sitting side by side on the trending page like a before and after photo of destruction. Now, I need you to understand something important. This was not a coordinated bot attack. We've seen those before, right? Fake accounts, repeated phrases, suspicious activity. No. Cybersecurity analysts who track social media manipulation ran the numbers. They found this was a tidal wave of real people. Organic anger. Moms in Ohio. Students in Mumbai. Retirees in Australia. All united by one thing. They believed Sophie. They believed her completely. The first battlefield was Meghan's own Instagram page. Specifically, a recent photo she had posted. Just a peaceful, beautifully shot image of her children's hands holding flowers in the garden. Innocent. Lovely. The comments section turned into a war zone within minutes. People were writing things like, "Your children deserve better than what you did to the Queen," and "Sophie told the truth." Her moderation team couldn't delete the messages fast enough. Every time they removed one, 10 more appeared. It was like trying to stop a flood with a paper cup. I've obtained a social listening report from a leading digital marketing firm based in New York. The data is devastating. Global sentiment analysis showed 89% support for Sophie. Let me say that again. 89%. That's not a split decision. That's a landslide. That's a public execution of a reputation. Then the internet did what the internet does best. It dug up the past. An old clip from Meghan's famous interview with Oprah Winfrey resurfaced everywhere. You remember it. She sat there, voice trembling, talking about her own mental health struggles inside the palace. How she felt silenced. How she had suicidal thoughts. It was powerful television. But now, the internet brutally stitched that clip right next to Sophie's leaked audio. The message was vicious and clear. You wanted sympathy for your pain, but what about the pain you caused a 96-year-old woman? The hypocrisy accusations were endless, brutal, unescapable. And here's the financial knife twist. A major European lifestyle brand, one that sells organic home goods, was literally seconds away from signing a multi-million-dollar sponsorship deal with Meghan's new venture. I'm talking pen in hand, contract on the table. After the leak hit, the head of marketing sent a one-line email to her team. It simply read, "We're pausing all discussions indefinitely." The phone stopped ringing. The deals evaporated. The viral verdict wasn't just destroying her image. It was burning through her bank account, one lost contract at a time. 48 hours have passed since Sophie's voice leaked across the globe. And now, something far more terrifying than the noise is happening. Silence. A deep, crushing, strategic silence that is louder than any scream. Let me take you inside the Montecito mansion on June 14th. Prince Harry has just returned from a brief solo trip to New York. He walked through the front door, duffel bag in hand, and according to a source who works closely with the family's security detail, the atmosphere inside was toxic and cold. That's the exact phrase used. Toxic and cold. Harry reportedly went straight to his home office and closed the door. He didn't embrace Meghan. He didn't rush to comfort her. He disappeared. You see, Harry is trapped in an impossible position. His wife stands accused by his family. His beloved grandmother's final years are now the center of a global scandal. And the person who spoke the damaging words, his Aunt Sophie, the woman who helped him navigate his own mother's death when he was just a boy. The one royal who never, ever sold a story to the press. Harry knows her character, and that knowledge must be eating him alive. But the silence extends far beyond those mansion walls. Let me share something chilling I've uncovered from multiple sources. Meghan, in those first 48 hours, made a series of desperate phone calls. She reached out to old friends, Hollywood contacts, people she thought would stand by her publicly. The response: voicemail, polite texts saying "I'm so sorry, I can't comment right now." Doors that were wide open just 1 week ago were suddenly slammed shut. Every major power player in Los Angeles had suddenly become unavailable for dinner, for anything. Then there is the most brutal silence of all. The silence from Kensington Palace. The Prince and Princess of Wales have offered absolutely nothing. Not a single word in defense of Sophie. Not a single word in defense of Meghan. This is not an accident. This is strategy. I've obtained a leaked internal email from a palace communications aide. It's unverified, but its content is explosive. The email, dated June 13th at 9:32 a.m., contains just one line. One single, devastating line. It reads, "Let the truth play out. Let the truth play out." 4 words that confirm what Meghan has always feared. The institution she fled is not going to save her. They are going to watch her drown. In desperation, her team scrambled to change the narrative. They quickly leaked a positive story about a quiet charity donation Meghan had made months ago. They sent it to friendly outlets, hoping to shift the headlines. It was swallowed whole by the negative algorithm, mocked online as a distraction tactic. Nothing stuck. Nothing worked. For the first time, Meghan is not fighting back. She can't. The silence from the royals has delivered a message louder than any statement ever could. You are outside now. You are alone. And we are never, ever letting you back in. Desperation makes people do reckless things. And by June 15th, Meghan was desperate. Cornered. Humiliated. So she activated a plan. A revenge plot designed to destroy Sophie's credibility once and for all. But it backfired. Spectacularly. Catastrophically. And it became the final nail in her own coffin. Here's exactly what happened. On the evening of June 15th, a story suddenly appeared on a well-known Beverly Hills gossip site. You know the one. It publishes anonymous tips from sources close to celebrities. The headline was designed to shock. It read, "The real Sophie, jealous bully who drove the Queen to exhaustion." The article, sourced to an unnamed close friend of the Sussexes, painted Sophie as a bitter, insecure woman who was always jealous of Meghan's global stardom. It claimed Sophie was the one who stressed the Queen with her constant petty demands and need for attention. It was a direct counterattack. A smear campaign designed to flip the narrative. It was a catastrophic miscalculation. A blunder of epic proportions. Why? Because Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh, has spent over 2 decades building a reputation that is practically bulletproof. She is known as the humble, hard-working royal. She doesn't complain. She doesn't give interviews. She just does the work. Quietly. Steadily. The public loves her precisely because she is the opposite of Hollywood drama. So when this obvious hit piece landed, the public didn't believe a single word. In fact, it made them angrier. And then Sophie did something brilliant. She didn't hide. The very next morning, photographers spotted her driving herself, alone, in a modest Land Rover, to a routine school visit in a small town outside London. No makeup artist. No PR entourage. No stage photo op. Just Sophie, in a simple blazer, doing her duty. The photos went viral instantly. The contrast with Meghan's carefully curated, high-budget aesthetic was stark and devastating. The internet exploded with a single phrase, class versus crass. But the real knockout punch was still coming. A renowned audio forensic expert named Dr. James Aldridge, completely independent of the palace, decided to analyze Sophie's leaked recording. He posted a detailed video statement on his professional YouTube channel, which has over 2 million subscribers. His conclusion was definitive. The recording was 100% authentic. No AI generation. No digital manipulation. No editing tricks. He said, and I quote, The vocal patterns, breathing, and ambient room noise are entirely consistent with a genuine, unscripted conversation. Meghan's last possible defense, through its fake narrative, shattered into a million pieces in one afternoon. And then came the cliffhanger that nobody saw coming. A trusted insider at Buckingham Palace leaked a single, tantalizing piece of information to me late that night. King Charles III, who had stayed silent through all of this, had finally decided to act. Not with a legal letter. Not with a public scolding. He was planning to honor Sophie, publicly, in a way that would send a message so powerful, so final, that Meghan would never recover. What was he planning? Buckingham Palace had stayed silent for 72 hours. They let the media storm rage. They let Meghan's failed counterattack collapse on its own. And then, on the evening of June 16th, King Charles III made his move. It wasn't a press release. It wasn't a legal threat. It was a state banquet. A glittering, formal, televised event in the grand ballroom of Buckingham Palace. The occasion was a diplomatic dinner for European heads of state. The cameras were rolling. The world was watching. And then the king walked in. But he wasn't holding the hand of Queen Camilla. He was arm in arm with Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh. The room fell silent for a beat. The cameras zoomed in. And then everyone noticed the tiara. Sophie was wearing the late Queen Elizabeth's most sentimental piece, the stunning Vladimir tiara, with its dangling emerald drops. A tiara the Queen had treasured. A tiara she had personally loaned to Sophie many times. A tiara that now symbolized something profound. Royal watchers around the world understood the message instantly. This wasn't just a fashion choice. This was a coronation. A public anointing. Sophie was not being reprimanded for speaking out. She was being honored for her loyalty. For her protection of the Queen's memory. Every camera flash captured the King's message to the world. And to Montecito, a senior palace insider, speaking to me on condition of strict anonymity, gave me the quote that closes this story forever. The insider said, His Majesty wanted the Duchess of Edinburgh to know, and the world to see, that she has his unwavering support. She spoke from a place of love and protection for a mother-in-law she dearly missed. He will not allow her to be bullied for her grief. Those words are dagger. Unwavering support. Love and protection. Grief. The message to Meghan was undeniable. Final. Absolute. You have no allies here. You are on your own. The king, the institution, the family, they have all chosen Sophie. And they did it on the world stage, in high definition, for every living room to witness. This video ends with one final, haunting image. Sources close to the Sussex household tell me that Meghan watched the banquet footage alone in her home office. The soft glow of a computer screen illuminated her face as the images streamed in. Sophie smiling. The king beaming with pride. The emeralds glittering under the chandeliers. Meghan sat there in the dark, silent. She didn't shout. She didn't cry. She just watched. Because in that moment, she understood. The royal war was over. And she had lost. Completely. Finally. Forever.